Good morning, Celtic fans, and welcome back to the channel. In today's Celtic news, we have a big issue with Kyogo. We have an issue with Cameron Carter-Vickers. Are Celtic about to spend £4 million on a Legia Warsaw defender? And does Brendan Rodgers have a really massive decision to make? And that is whether he replaces Joe Hart as goalkeeper. That is all for you this morning in today's Celtic FC news. So let's get back to the main story first of all. If you remember last year and last season, Kyogo fell and hurt his shoulder. It looks like he's still carrying a bit of an injury. Brendan Rodgers has revealed that Kyogo is managing his shoulder injury from last season, which doesn't bode too well for the striker going into the new season, where we only have O as the main striker. But as we've seen the other night on Wednesday morning here, Wednesday night in Japan, Celtic are utilising the fact that Dyson Maida's favoured position is through the middle, and he done fantastic for us. Seems to be the fact that Brendan does look like he wants to make sure that we have cover in that position, and we have ample cover in the man Dyson in that position. So tell me what you think. Should we be going out and buying someone else, or do you trust the gaffer to make sure that Kyogo gets through his rehab and is fit for the rest of the season, and we don't have to go out and buy someone else. We've got O sitting there, but Dyson's hat-trick against Yokohama really impressed everyone. I mean, it impressed me. We know he had that in his. We know he has the pace in his locker, but the finishing last season was a bit off. Did Ange Postecoglou purposely play him out position just to make sure that we had that pace down that wing? And we were all saying that his finishing was terrible last year, but he did score a hat-trick the other night against his old team, which would be fantastic for him. And you've got to remember, back to the 2018-2019 season, Rodgers did go with two strikers at Celtic. He went with Odsonne Edouard and Moussa Dembele, but he had the two of them to come off. If he didn't go two up front, he would play one of them, and then Edouard would come on and score a goal also. So tell me about that in the comments. What do you think? Let's get to the Celtic transfer news. The big transfer news that broke last night was obviously that Celtic are closing in on a defender, and they've got Galatasaray to contend with over the Legia Warsaw defender. Looks like that Celtic are going to make a bid for the 22-year-old, and they're willing to spend £4 million on it. With Cameron Carter-Vickers set to miss the first couple of games of the season, we all agree that Carl Starfelt does need that big sort of player next to him, a big defender that can hold his own, because let's face it, if we're going in with just Cameron Carter-Vickers, Stephen Welsh and Liam Scales, we're in a bit of trouble. But the fact that Celtic are making moves, it looks like they're going to spend £2 million up front and £2 million on an agreement with a 15% sell-on clause to get the deal done. Could be a good piece of business for Celtic. He is a player that is in the right age bracket to be able to make him a bit better and sell on in a few years if that does happen. But we do really need cover in defence, and we've all known that. Let's get on to Japan. Let's face it, Japan made Joe Hart even made another clanger in the game on Wednesday, and when you go back to 2016, even Craig Gordon discovered that he lost his place in the team to remember this guy, Dorius De Vries. Oh man, I can't even say it because I'm like, Jesus, can you remember that? Anyway, we've got other keepers there, but let's face it, Bain isn't the man to take us into the Champions League. We've seen with Benji Siegrist, everybody's saying that Ben looks as if he's trying to just see out his contract and then get out of Celtic. We really need someone that's going to be a solid replacement for Hart. When you look at Fenerbahce, they spent $7 million for Dynamo Zagreb goalkeeper. Should Celtic have made a move for that keeper? For me, it's becoming a top priority for Celtic. We can't go into the season, if we think that we're going to go into the Champions League and try and make some kind of impact, we need to make sure that we've got a keeper at the back that all the players can trust. And it's not just at the back. I mean, there's players all over the pitch that we need to believe that we can trust. Is one of them Tomoki Iwasa? He's obviously looking to make his mark under Brendan Rodgers. It is a new start for him. The 26-year-old who was brought to the club in January is using his full pre-season to try and secure a regular place in the team. Iwasa obviously arrived on a 6-month loan deal that was made permanent. He was basically used as a substitute towards the end of last season, playing in centre back, where he adapted to that position fine. Is he the man to play centre back for us, or he's also played right back with Ralston and Johnson both injured? It seems a bit concerning to me that we are running a lot of injuries. I mean, Ralston's also injured on the trip also, so Celtic need to make some good decisions in the next couple of weeks, and I think that's concerning people. But there is still a couple of weeks to go. We would have liked to get players in and make sure that they're bedded in with the squad. You know, you're using your pre-season to get your players in, and we haven't done that this year. We're still waiting on paperwork getting sorted out for the 2 South Korean lads, and we thought they might have been paraded this week, but there does seem to be an issue with paperwork or something that's holding that deal up. Back to Brendan and Dyson. That hat-trick on Wednesday and the change in position for him. Everyone was completely amazed the fact that he did score the 3 goals with ease, and he's basically he's perfect replacement for Kyogo with his pace. He brings us something different to the team. We can play O up front. He's more a big bustly player that's wanting the ball put into him. You know, he's going to be kicking about with the defenders, pushing the defenders all over the place. Dyson's run, and he'd done a couple of runs on Wednesday which were fantastic. Bagging a hat-trick against his old team would have been fantastic for him as well. And the reception that Dyson got from for the fans of the old team was good as well. But the fact last year, the last 2 years basically, we played him out of position on the left wing by Ange Postecoglou. He did chip in with a couple of goals and assists, but let's face it, he plays centre forward for Japan. He was their first choice at the World Cup when Kyogo was left behind. You know, there was a big shock when Kyogo was left behind, but then we had never seen Dyson playing as a striker. I mean, we all believed in Ange and said he was a winger, so we played him as a winger. Was it the fact that playing him through the middle of the park like we did against Yokohama is going to be a little trick this season that's going to make us that little bit better, and it's going to give us a little bit consistency in the attacking formation that we're going to play. It's going to give us that consistency of a high-level attacker that has a bit of pace. You know, Old doesn't really have that. He is a big bustly player, but will it save us a few million going out to buy another striker? Because there were people saying that we do need another centre forward. Dyson could be that man to basically alleviate that area, as we say, and then getting Kyogo, letting him get as fit as possible for the rest of the season. He's one player that really impressed me on Wednesday. To be fair, there wasn't a lot of other players. When Celtic play against teams back home domestically, they're going to be sitting. You know, we need someone that we can try and pull teams out a bit, and someone that's got a bit of pace through the middle. Dyson showed that he's got that in abundance on Wednesday. Kyogo has that. We all know Kyogo has that. O's a different type of player altogether. So let's have a little look and see if there's any other breaking Celtic news. It is all around about the big striker, the big defender this morning, and it looks like Celtic are going to make this £4 million offer. But it remains to be seen. Will Galatasaray beat us to him? The fact that Galatasaray are also after one of our players, we'll see how that one pans out. It's centre half. It is good money that Celtic will be spending. We do need defensive cover. Tell me in the comments what you think, and I'm off to the airport. I shall see you on the next video. Good day, good morning. I don't even know what time it is now. You know what I mean? Right, have a good day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit.